My stay at the ITC GRAND CHOLA was very short, and I can't say that I was too sad about that fact. Hi there, my name is Kevin. This channel came from a love of traveling, a love of the full process and the journey itself. I feature airline trip reports and high-end hotel reviews from all over the world. My reviews aren't sponsored by airlines or hotels, so you can be sure to get my unbiased, honest opinion. Am I an expert? You can decide. Am I fair? Yes, I am. Let's get into it. Welcome to Chennai. In my experience, this kind of hotel is the most difficult to review and to write a script for, because the majority of my opinions and critique are related to what's missing instead of what I can actually show you. If you'd like to know the exact nightly rate that I paid, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. ITC Hotel Group, oddly enough, that used to stand for Imperial or India Tobacco Company. Anyway, ITC Hotel Group has over 100 properties across India with a variety of brands. One thing going for this property is its location, which is convenient to both the airport and local public transport. At the top of the ITC portfolio are their ITC hotels, of which there are 14. Most of these are branded as part of Marriott's luxury collection. A mistake, if you ask me. Why a mistake? Let's talk about it as we walk into the main lobby and reception area. In my experience, luxury collection properties are generally smaller, independent-like hotels which are already offering a world-class product, who join the collection to expand their reach, refine their offerings, and perhaps achieve a bit of operational efficiency. It's generally a net positive for all three sides of the equation: the hotel, Marriott, and the guest. I've reviewed quite a few of them on the channel, and I think quite highly of them. Here though, the primary check-in desks in front of us, it's a pretty different story. It would seem that ITC uses the Marriott relationship only to expand their reach. As someone who stays in a lot of hotels, I can say for certain ITC is the only one benefiting from this relationship, which seems to have diluted the guest experience and the luxury collection brand. On ITC's part, it's essentially expensive but easy advertising. Once you're in the door though, there's really no sight of Marriott branding. I am getting ahead of myself already though. Let's put a pin in that and focus on what the hotel does have going for it. This beautiful and imposing central staircase for one. The Sangam period grand lobby follows a temple cloister design. The expansive pastel and earth tone lobby is interspersed with Dravidian pillars positioned symmetrically to promote balance. The 522-room hotel itself is named after the Cholas, one of the longest ruling dynasties in world history. The Cholas made massive contributions across many creative fields, and the ITC GRAND CHOLA, put on paper by also Atlanta-based Smallwood & Associates, is meant to, quote, revive the magnificence and artistic cornucopia of that era in a spectacular edifice that has become a landmark in Chennai. As we head up to the admittedly beautiful pool area, we can get a closer look at the hotel's exterior, which is meant to look carved and textured in a way that reflects traditional temple architecture first seen during the time of the Cholas. I'm no expert on Chola-era architecture, but I can say that I am an expert on hotel pools, and this one, especially for an urban hotel, is one of the more beautiful and expansive examples that I've seen. In case it wasn't kinda obvious already, a friendly reminder that this video was not sponsored by ITC Hotels in any way, shape, or form, and they had no knowledge of me filming a video there, which I think is fundamental for an honest review. Because of this, your views, likes, comments, and subscriptions on Patreon really do allow the channel to grow and keep the content flowing. So a big thank you in advance for stopping by. Overlooking the pool deck, we also have a very active gym area just behind. When I checked in, my driver brought me to the main reception area near the grand staircase. I had no idea that that's not where I was supposed to be. I was eventually brought to this smaller lobby, which is for ITC 1 and Tower guests only. I say eventually because of the 6 hotels I stayed at in India on this trip, this is the only one that felt anything close to being understaffed. When you walk into the main lobby, there's simply no one there. I needed to go back outside and ask the security guard, where do I go to check in? Service levels across the board, except for one very fast bellhop, were disappointing at each step. I'll explain about the bellhop when we get to the room. Also available for tower and club level guests was the residence lounge, which was honestly nowhere near the tower rooms, and the tower lounge, it just felt like it was lacking a bit of atmosphere, or sunlight perhaps. A lot of the venues here gave me the same vibes as the JW Marriott in Kuala Lumpur, where all of the restaurants were in the basement with no windows. Alright, let's head up to my room. Decor throughout many of the common areas of the hotel were distinctly non-distinct. The spaces are plush and premium looking, but honestly, you could be anywhere. My room was on the 33rd floor. When I drove up to the hotel, I didn't really notice how tall the building was, but I guess there's a tower hiding in the back in an exclusive area somewhere. I was told that I was on the 33rd floor when I checked in. In the elevator, when I scanned my keycard, the option given to me was 33rd floor. Super duper high-speed elevator, by the way. When I got to my door, no surprise, it said 3316. On the back of my door, it says in big bold letters, 33rd floor. So, would you be surprised to know that the hotel only has 11 floors and I'm on the 3rd? Yeah. Alright, let's check out the actual room. First thing that came to my mind is this is a very nice and well-outfitted room, bigger than I was expecting. Second thing was, this room looks like what Hollywood thinks big fancy Indian hotel rooms look like. If there's anyone out there that understands what I mean, I'd love for you to reply in the comments. As I said, the rooms are well outfitted in just about all regards, and from one side of the bed, there's enough functionality to launch a space program if you'd like. The linens, both on the bed and in the bathroom, comfortably fit into the drab category. They all just felt and looked very worn out and, well, limp. As always, there's a well-connected desk with plenty of space to do all of your most important tasks. And then there's a small sitting area in front of the bed. I almost forgot. So when I checked in, the security and the bellhops took my bags. Let me say, just crystal clearly, I have one bag that never ever leaves my sight when traveling. It has my hard drives in it. For some inexplicable reason, today I let them take it. That's my fault. But after all, I'd have it back in a few minutes. Nope, they lost it. I was in a blind panic after the bellhop came to my room for the 3rd time, telling me he couldn't find the bag. Either of my bags, actually. 15 minutes later, I was on the phone with the duty manager, who was trying to calm me down, when I heard the best sound on earth. The zippers on my bag clanging against the luggage lock as the bellhop was literally sprinting down the hallway, carrying both bags. They put them in someone else's room. Nice. I ordered AirTags the next day. In the oversized hallway leading to the room, there are 2 wardrobes. The one closer to us is the minibar. It was moderately stocked with a selection of teas and dusty instant coffee. There were no other options. I called. The room was fully stocked with glass bottled water, which is bottled on site. Considering how much ITC talks about being LEED Zero Carbon certified, surely there wouldn't be any single-use plastics in the room, right? Especially when their name on Google Maps is literally, quote, ITC GRAND CHOLA, Chennai. LEED Zero Carbon certified luxury hotel. The other wardrobe had additional storage, but don't worry, there's a lot more. Inside the oversized bathroom, we have the open plan closet, which was plenty of space to spread out, especially if you put a luggage rack in there. The rest of the bathroom was outfitted okay, but the fixtures were definitely starting to show wear and tear. As they do many times, we were reminded about how environmentally friendly ITC hotels are. That's why there are no amenities in the bathroom. Wouldn't be to save money or anything. Hanging on the mirror was also a sign which reads, quote, "As part of our #responsible luxury initiative, ITC hotels are now a single-use plastic-free environment," unquote. So then, this is cute. And just in case you might be thinking, oh, they must have been out of stock of their normal non-plastic amenities. Nope, these literally say on the back of them, "For use by ITC hotels." And they're all sealed with a sticker, which means that they're all single-use. Lastly, they smell offensively bad. They smell like a high school gym class in 1993. I brought the bar of soap to the US simply to see if I was crazy, honestly. I asked 3 people, blindly, what does this smell like? The answers were Irish Spring, and bad soap. For those not aware, Irish Spring was a brand of intensely fragrant soap popular in the US in the 90s. Alright, let's go look at some of the food and drink venues. I wouldn't be here for breakfast in the morning, so I made sure to check out another buffet at the Madras Pavilion, the all-day buffet restaurant. I'm just going to let these clips speak for themselves. Note that I didn't eat here. I was standing at the entrance to ask could I take a few photos, but there was no one there. No service staff, no host, no one. So away I went. Next up was the 24/7 Cafe Mercara Express, the on-site coffee shop. Side note, they also had a store where they sold all of those fantastically limp linens. Next up was the Northern Indian restaurant, Peshwari. If Epcot had an India pavilion, this place would fit in quite well. There's also a chocolate shop, which was just inside the main entrance. And then we had 3 more venues at the top of the central staircase. Ottimo, the Italian restaurant. Royal Vega, serving up vegetarian Indian cuisine. And Pan Asian, a Pan Asian restaurant. Last up for the restaurants was Avartana, the South Indian restaurant, and where I originally planned to have dinner. But if I'm honest, the small and somewhat tacky dining room just didn't feel like a place that would or should be serving $80 tasting menus. After watching the nightly performance on the central stairs, I decided to go for room service. I went for a paneer starter and a biryani, The paneer was very good. The chutneys and pickles and breads were also pretty good. The biryani was stodgy and wet though. I had a couple of hours of trying and failing to connect to the Wi-Fi, and then the party started. Well, actually, the party started at 7 p.m. There was thumping music coming from God knows where, literally vibrating the room. I don't mean like another room playing the radio. I mean like a massive wedding somewhere on the property. I needed to wake up at 3 a.m. I understand that's my problem, but by 10 p.m. it was still going on strong. Between 10 p.m. and 12:30 in the morning, I called the duty manager more than 5 times. Each time he assured me that it would stop immediately. It never did. I'm still not sure if it actually stopped or if I just fell asleep. Have a listen. The next morning, I had a breakfast box delivered that I ordered the night before, which was 40 minutes late, but who's counting? This hotel came recommended by many viewers and commenters, multiple mentioning that it was the best ITC. So much so that I decided to spend a night here even when it was nowhere near on my radar. And I don't get it. Maybe it's me, but I won't be returning. All of that said, I do hope that this review was somewhat enjoyable, despite the salty and at times spicy or sour commentary. But hey, you can't win them all, and that's okay. If you have other ITCs that you'd like to recommend, I am all ears. Please join me next time for my Vistar business class flight from Chennai to Delhi.